Hello and welcome. This is Joshy, and this is my top 10 things you don't really know until you're an adult sometimes. Maybe. Number one, understanding that failure is different than not doing something. Uh, Fear is very horrible in the fact that it forces you not to do things in your own perception of life, which I have been guilty of a lot. More than I'd like to say. But lately I've been doing these art shows where I put my photography, like that thing back there. I took that picture. Um, and I haven't been doing very well with them. I mean, I've only done 2 thus far, and I'm going to do more because I feel like it's a good learning experience and it's kind of fun. But I know I'm not doing well at them. It's my sort of failure at this. But I'm not going to let it discourage me. I'm going to keep going. And that's a good lesson to learn, knowing the difference. I'm not just going to stop and just not do them. I'm going to keep going, keep swimming. Okay, so number 2. Dreams and goals are 2 different things. You can have a dream, but more than likely, the reason why it's called a dream is because it's unattainable. Whereas a goal is actually something you can obtain, something that you can look forward to, something that you can grasp later in life or sooner, however long this goal is. You have short-term goals, long-term goals, but nonetheless, it's something that you can grab a hold of. For me, I don't really know what my dreams are half the time, so I'll just stay with my goals. And one of my big goals is I want to travel and take pictures. It's what I want to do. That's what my heart desires, and that is obtainable. I have done some traveling already. I've gone to Washington State twice. The first time my friend and I drove up the coast of the East Coast, West Coast, sorry, the West Coast, on one, and it was just beautiful. I have pictures galore. If you go to my website, I'll post it down below. Anyway, so I want to do that more often, and I will, because that is something that is my goal in life. That's what I want to do. So know the difference between goal or dream and goal. Okay? Number 3, going at your own pace. Not what the world wants you to, not what your friends want you to, or teachers, or whatever, people in general. Everyone has a different way of learning, everyone has a different way of going through life. And the hardest part for me was knowing what my pacing was, because I was always told, well, you should be here in your life at this time. You're this age, this is what you should be doing. And that confuses people completely. You know what, sure, at this stage in my life I probably should be crazy successful, blah 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 blah. But you know what? I learn differently than other people out there, and growing up I still am, but I'm dyslexic, and it forces me to learn differently than other people, thus pushes me further differently. So, whatever. And that expectation, I guess, but that what people wanted me to be at this certain age kind of made me not want to be this at that certain age. But just know your pacing, okay? Know what you are and what you can do at certain things for your life and all that crap, okay? So, yeah, no pacing. Number 4, ask for help sometimes, because independence is overrated. I tend not to ask for help, okay? I've learned to kind of just do things on my own. And that's because, for the most part, I live on the opposite side of town of every one of my friends, associates, people, and I don't like imposing on people, so I don't ask them for help. I don't ask them for rides. I don't ask them for anything like that because I don't have a car. And I always feel like they're kind of looking down on me for not having a car or any of that jazz. So I just don't ask for help. I don't ask for rides. I'll just walk. And I don't know if this is because in the past I've asked for rides and they've kind of gave me like a certain face or a certain attitude. Who knows? It's not really their fault. It's my own fault for not understanding when I ask for help. I'm actually, asking for help. I usually kind of beat around the bush or, So learn how to ask for help. Kind of need to sometimes. So number 5, expectations that you have for others is very killer on your soul because, let's be honest, people are not going to do what you expect them to do. They're going to be their own person. They're going to do life differently. And for me, learning this is hard. I'm still trying to grasp a hold of it, honestly. Example, I have a problem with people when they don't text first or when they don't call me first. I always feel like I have to call them first. I always have to be the one to initiate these. Whatever. I have to be the one to start this. I always have to be the one to start texting or calling someone. And after a while of doing that, I feel like it's their turn. They should do it back, But then they don't. And then I get very sad on that. It's not their fault. I expect too much sometimes. A lot of times. And the fact of the matter is, they're busy. They have lives. I'm not going to always be on their mind. I wish I was sometimes, but I'm not. And this is the reason why they don't text or call first or ever or at all. But that's life. And you got to learn how to just go with the flow at that point because you're only hurting yourself at that point. They don't know that your expectations are high of them. It's not part of what they know. So just lower your expectations of people around you. It'll help you in life. Number 6, know when people are trying to help you and knowing when they are pitying you. There's a very fine line. And for me, I accidentally get people to pity me. By that I mean my sarcasm is broken. I'm very backwards with my sarcasm, so when I joke, I'm actually sarcastic, I guess, or something along the line. I'll say something like, it's because I have no food in my fridge, and then they'll be like, oh my god, you don't have food in your fridge? We need to feed you. At that point, that's pity. That's not helping. That's not them helping you at all. That is them literally pitying you because you kind of forced them to pity you at that point. And it's an accident on my part. I don't mean for people to do that at all. Maybe in college I was trying to get pity, but that's a whole different story. You people know what I mean. But try to know the difference when people are actually helping you. Like, there's a lot of times I'm like, hey Josh, we're going to give you a ride home. And I'm like, no, that's cool, and I walk off. They weren't pitying me at that point. They were just literally wanting to give me a ride home. So just know the difference between the two. Number 7, depression is hard on everyone around you. And to think that it's not, and that it's always just you that it's hard on, is very selfish to think. I'm a depressed person, so don't sass me. It is hard to be depressed, okay? And let me give you an example. My cat, okay? When I'm depressed, he wants attention nonstop sometimes. And when I'm depressed, I don't give him attention. I kind of just curl up in a ball and he is on his own. And that could last for hours. And it's hard on the cat because he really does just want that attention. He wants me to play. He wants me to show him love or whatever. And he won't get that because I'm depressed. And it's hard for me to give him that attention. It's not his fault. He doesn't understand. He'll go up on his perch, and the one up there behind me, and he'll just sit there and stare at me, hoping that I go and pay attention to him, but I don't. So people are the same way. Depression is like that with them. Not a lot of people understand it. You yourself can understand it. Just know that it does affect them. Okay? Speaking of gato. So yeah, just know that it does hurt people around you. It is hard. Depression is a horrible thing. So, yeah. Number 8, helping people without a return investment. It seems like oh duh, just help people. But honestly, growing up, I didn't understand that completely. I would always help people and like expect them to help me back. But so here's an example again. I work in a place and we have a break room, and a lot of times you have to hear conversations. It's just part of a break room. You're not eavesdropping, it's just there. I hear people going, oh, well, guess what I did today, and blah, blah, blah. I gave a homeless man $5, and I gave him a sandwich. And to me, at that point, it makes it moot, because now you're just bragging about it. You're like, I did something good. But in reality, for me, I don't go around telling every time I I helped someone, hurt someone. No, I don't go around telling everyone when I help people. I just help people and be done with it. I don't expect those people to help me back. I just do it. That's it. Just help people without anything in return. Just go do it. It's that simple. Number 9, finding people in your life that actually build you up instead of trying to mold you into something you're not is very essential. Relationships, we tend to get people that want to mold us into what they want. So they pull parts of you out and they're like, nah, I don't like this, don't like that. And then you're left with this shell of a person, and then they try to fit other things in there, like, oh, I want you to be like this, and I want you to be like that. Well, honestly, that's not good. And if you can, get away from that relationship. Whether it's a friend or a loved one, if people don't like you the way you are, then they're not good for you in your life. Plain and simple. So, to number 10, be yourself. Because who you are is actually essential to your own life. And if people don't like who you are, that's on them. Not everyone is going to be a nice person. Not everyone's going to like you for who you are. And it's very painstaking to have people in your life that always try to change you for something that you're, blah, blah, blah. You need to be, blah. You're like, no, I want to be, blah. And I've always struggled with that growing up. I always tried to be like everyone else. I always tried to be something else. And funny, I was called weird my whole life. Ever since kindergarten. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I was called weird. And I never understood what that meant. Like, what do they mean I'm weird? Just myself. And now when people call me weird, I just look at them like, seriously? What are you, 5? You're calling me weird? No, I'm just who I am. You're who you are. I don't call you weird. By all means, in your own retrospect, you're weird yourself, but not the point. Just be comfortable who you are, because you are special. And you're great. And always be that. And that's it. So those are my 10 things you don't really know until you're an adult. Or at least I didn't know until I was an adult. Or I kind of knew. Why do you make so much noise, cat? And yeah, thanks. I'm going to put my books up here that I wrote. Just because I like to promote them. And that's it. So have a good day. I'm out. Peace. Get out of here. Go home.